Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name is Luke Talbot, and today we're going to be discussing some of the things that I do as a runner to make running easier. Now, this doesn't mean you're going to be a better runner or a faster runner. It's just some things that I like to do to ensure that I'm going to feel better on the next day or for the next race, or even have a better workout. Just in general, things that I think benefit me a lot and help me get through a run or workout or race. Just in general, make running a lot easier. And the first thing I want to start off with is running on a softer surface. I think a lot of people do often talk about it, but don't really give it enough thought. We live in a world where there's roads and sidewalks all over the place, and they're great for access and easy to run on. But at the end of the day, concrete isn't the nicest thing to your legs. And while there are max cushion shoes that you can help try to per se balance out the effect that the harder surface have on your legs, it is always very beneficial to be running on an easier surface, whether that be grass, turf, dirt, or even gravel. I personally have a gravel path that runs alongside my house from about a mile away, and I have probably ran over 1,000, 2,000 miles on that trail alone. It definitely can get boring. I'm not going to act like it's not, but at the same time, I know how beneficial it is for me to get in some of those easy runs on a soft surface, and that just gets me motivated enough to head down onto the trail and get my run in, and knowing that tomorrow my legs are going to feel just a little bit better. The next thing I thought would be a good topic to talk about, one that I don't think is talked about enough, honestly, is drinking something during your workouts. Now, whether it be water, electrolytes, carbs, or a mix of all of them together. I personally have been trying out the Gatorlight. I think it's quite all right. I don't really have any complaints. I think that whatever you choose to drink, as long as it doesn't upset your stomach, that might be what's best to drink for you. I personally started off drinking water and then slowly added electrolytes, and now I'm doing electrolytes with a little bit of carbs. I do think that there's a lot of beneficial things that come with consuming liquid during your workouts. And even if it's just water, I think something is always better than nothing, especially for longer workouts. That being said, if you're just doing a couple 200s, you really probably don't need anything during that type of workout. But especially for longer workouts or even long runs in general, I think consuming something like that is very beneficial. I know a lot of pro athletes do like Morton or, Liquid IV even. And I do think there's a lot to say when it comes to the research and studies behind what this does to affect your body. Unfortunately, that's not a field of study that I have done, so I'm not going to add anything more than just the simple fact that I personally have been feeling a lot better consuming electrolytes during my runs. So I thought it'd be something that I thought I should bring up with you guys. The next thing I thought I'd talk about is rolling out. And this isn't just your average grab a foam roller and roll your legs out, roll your calves out. I'm talking about your feet, because a lot of people decide to neglect their feet when at the end of the day, your feet are what you use to run. I personally go to with a lacrosse ball and just put it on your foot, press down, roll it around, and just take care of your feet because they are so important. And I find a lot of times that my feet are quite sore when I finish a run or even a long run. So later in the day, I'll just grab a lacrosse ball, take a couple minutes, roll it out while I'm at work. I often do this. You don't need to be anywhere specific. You can do it just about anywhere as long as you have that lacrosse ball with you. I always have one in my backpack. I actually have 3 backpacks. Each backpack has a lacrosse ball. I also have one over there. So I have like 4 lacrosse balls. They're not hard to come by, especially if you are at a school. I'm sure you could just ask your lacrosse team if you have one, or just go to your local sporting goods store and grab one there. Seriously, it does make a difference. Maybe not anything too crazy, but you will notice if you're having some feet pain and you do roll out your feet, it generally goes away, at least from my experience. I'm definitely going to make a video talking more about sleep and diving deep into how important it is for recovery. But one thing I do want to talk about sleep, is the fact that I personally do not eat an hour before I go to bed. My bedtime is always 8 o'clock. Sometimes I go to sleep a little bit after, maybe a little bit before. But by 7 o'clock, I am done eating. And that is just because every morning when I wake up, I want to feel as good as I can because I run in the morning. A lot of people run in the morning. And one thing that I've noticed is that if I stop eating an hour before I go to sleep, I generally feel much better in the morning. So one thing I do is, like I said, I don't eat an hour before I go to bed. And this is different for everybody, but it is something that if you have issues when you wake up with your digestive system or your bladder or something like that, it could help to limit eating and drinking an hour before you go to sleep. I usually find that I wake up and I'm able to use the bathroom without an issue and then go on my run. Now, sometimes when I was eating close to my bedtime, maybe like within an hour or even 30 minutes, I wake up and not feel nearly as great. So this is very, person to person, but it's something that I've noticed helped me. So I just thought it might not be a bad idea just to talk about it. And again, it's really person to person, so I can't say this is for everybody. But for me specifically, and as a morning runner, I like to wake up and first thing I do is go do my long run or my workout or my normal run, whatever I'm doing that day. And I find that not eating an hour before I go to sleep is very beneficial for me specifically. The last thing that I'm going to talk about is a little bit of a broad subject, but I really do think it's extremely important the environment you put yourself in as a runner. Running is such a mental sport, and if you're not surrounded by people who want to see you succeed, hardworking individuals, people that are going to promote a healthy lifestyle and want to, see you be the best version of you, it is not an easy sport to thrive in. And firsthand experience with this at my previous college, I just felt like I was in a position where not a lot of people cared about what they were doing, about me. It was a very negative experience, and at the end of the day, I felt like I was the only one who wanted to be there and was trying to be the best I could be. And when you're surrounded by people who don't really care and don't understand the passion that you have for the sport and just take it for granted, it's really hard to find the success you're looking for. So I do think that environment is extremely important. I've experienced that even to now, where I have people like my parents, my family, my coach, who all want to see me succeed and are working hard just to help me in any way they can. So I think it's something that is very important and not enough people talk about. It's okay if you're not in a place where, people are gonna be supporting you. I just think that it's okay to recognize that and move on from that. The reason I didn't stay at my old college was because I knew that if I was there this semester, I wouldn't be improving and I wouldn't be in the place that I want to be. Where I am right now, I could have never achieved the times and the place that I'm at right now if I was still at my school. And it takes a lot to recognize that, and even more to take that step to get yourself out of that environment and in that situation. So I think it is extremely important, and it's just something I wanted to touch on again, very person to person, but at the end of the day, you are the average of the people you surround yourself with. It's one of my favorite quotes, and I think that it's something that I try to live by every single day. I try to promote that with all my friends and family so that I can be the best version of me and they can be the best version of them. And I do think that it's helped me tremendously. So it's just something I really wanted to touch on. With that being said, though, that's going to be all for me. Probably a little bit of a shorter video. Again, I'm kind of at a time crunch trying to pack up and get out of here because I'm heading to California. By the time this video goes live, I should be in California, waking up the day after my 5K, hanging out with my Spanish parents, and potentially even going on a long run with the team or something along those lines. So it's super exciting. But I appreciate you guys. Love the support from you. Again, you guys do make this so much easier for me and so much more of a positive environment for me. I just cannot thank you guys enough. So with that being said, take care. Love all things. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.